So welcome. I hope all of you had a really great Memorial Day. But we're going to talk a little bit today about career prep services. And just to let you know, as you know, career prep services is one of those day services that we provide. And our hope is honestly to kind of grow and further develop this service simply because it does help prepare people for employment. Career prep services have to be flexible to provide a wide variety of activities and opportunities to enhance. It helps with informed choice regarding competitive employment, identifying of interests, preferences, strengths, abilities, development of workplace skills, habits that promote successful careers, creation of job-seeking tools and resumes, portfolios, resolution of common employment barriers, and facilitation of greater independence. So it covers a wide range of activities. I think that sometimes it's challenging because it does offer so many creative options, but we're here to try to help come alongside you and give you some ideas as to how you can maybe use some skills and tools and resources that are out there so you don't have to create the wheel. So the two important elements just to keep in mind with career prep services is that if you still pay individuals for working on and getting paid work experience, that it really can account for more than 50% of the career service itself. I think by now all of you know that. You do want to make sure that you indicate this correctly in your TheraP under location. You want to make sure you've got work if they're doing work all day, other if they're doing curriculum, and both if they've had 1 unit of paid work experience and 1 unit of curriculum. And some people have said, oh, can't we do the curriculum while we're doing the paid work experience? Actually, DHHS would really like us to focus on actually doing, curriculum. Obviously, you learn things through your paid work experience, which is why we offer that. But they also want us to focus on many of the skills and abilities that we need as we want to look for a job. One of the things to be mindful of with the career prep services, community integration, activities are recommended to occur in a natural setting that don't isolate people from those without disabilities. And this could include the DO offices, libraries, vocational sites, a lot of different places in the community that you can perform this service and support people in this service while yet getting them comfortable with the world around them and maybe what they might like to do. Exploration is used to assist individuals to explore specific employment options. So it's the old question of what do you want to do when you grow up? To help them make an informed choice about whether or not they wish to pursue employment, provide opportunities to identify a person's specific interests, figure out what transferable skills or previous experiences individuals have had, exploring the local community, business, and job shadowing, informal interviews with employers, and opportunities to attempt job tasks. We can send this resource out when we're done, but every one of these is an actual either tool or it's a video that you can use to look at things. In other words, the career one-stop shop list of careers, you'll find out, let's see if I can do it here. Real. You can see here. I apologize, my dog is barking. You can see here that there are all kinds of tools that you can find out about all these different jobs listed under this link. What's an animal breeder, an animal caretaker? They're all there. So It's a great little tool if you're trying to look for information on various careers. There's career videos here, over 300. And always there's the option of encouraging professionals and employers from the area to come in and share their story, what they do, and what qualities they're looking for in an employee. It's not new to you to realize that work incentive education is education on benefits of work for individuals. How do their benefits become impacted when they go to work? What is that going to do? Are they going to, quote, lose their check? Are they going to never have a benefit again? Are they going to lose their health insurance? So that's sort of an important thing to start to talk about in career prep, because most of the time, most of us hear that question regularly, and most of us, it takes us 6 or 7 times to start to understand something. So talking about it in career prep gives somebody the opportunity to start to understand what is involved with their benefits and working. Addressing concerns or objectives regarding the loss of benefits if they're considering employment, and information on being referred to VR. There are going to be some benefit sessions that ABLE offers. One's June 10th, the 8th, August 12th, all the way down. And if you have questions, this would be the email address that you would want to respond to, or you could call. There's also a benefits brochure here that you can download freely. Okay. The other thing we would want to work on in career prep is job seeking skills and tools. Sometimes we see this employment services. We practiced interviewing skills. We practiced completing job applications. We practiced hygiene and social interactions. Those are actually the kinds of skills that we want to be doing in career prep. Sometimes it happens in individual employment, but that should be focused on a person specifically going and interviewing with ABC White House and being able to possibly answer those questions that they might be asked for that job. So it's developing skills for the workplace, creating tools and supporting documentation for resume, references, sheets, photos, and marketable portfolios. Just as a side note, I just got off the phone with an employment person who has a job lined up and just learned out the person lost their ID. So obviously that's a big part of career prep, making sure that they have the ID or the social security card or whatever's needed so that they can fill out an application when the time comes. And here we talked about it. Reviewing the items and assuring they're available, like the I-9, social security card, understanding tax withholding, practice interviewing skills, dressing for success, social skills, and identifying transportation options and training. If you've done much with employment, you know that transportation is a huge barrier to employment. So the more we can practice learning transportation options, what's available in our community, how do you use it, even if you do it as a group, the more likely the person is going to be able to have that skill so they're able to get to work. These are free resources for job seeking skills and tool resources. These are job fairs you'll link to. These are exploring all kinds of jobs. So these are volunteering. I'd really encourage you to consider volunteering in career prep. It's in the community. You learn skills. You learn how to make social relationships. You learn how to get to another place in terms of transportation. And it is a phenomenal way to help somebody gain confidence so they can consider employment. Acquire, retain, and improve skills. Exposure to in the greater community, discovering somebody's interest, which means that provides them informed choice. Informed choice means you know the difference between two choices. You know the difference between rowing a boat and bicycling. You can't really make a decision if you don't know the difference between the two. So that's informed choice. So the more exposure we give to someone, the more we're not just going to get yes, yes, yes for every answer, but we're actually going to get, no, I'd rather do that than this. Practicing non-job task related specific strengths and skills, including social skills, providing opportunities to build relationship and contacts within the community. Quite often, somebody will go and volunteer, and that might not be the place that they get a job, but somebody that they're volunteering with knows someone and can make that connection for them such that it provides an opportunity. Obviously, volunteering must occur in a nonprofit organization. You can't volunteer at Publix, and must adhere to the guidelines set by the Department of Labor regarding no compensation. Places to consider volunteering. These are all places that you can consider volunteering. Nursing homes, hospitals, blood drives, Adopt a Highway, church events, the YMCA, ballparks. We talked a little bit earlier about transportation, that activities could include providing supports to learn to navigate the community, including public transportation or private transportation, traveling safety, various types of transportation, inviting a travel trainer to share their insights. These are all little videos on transportation. Here's a sheet with the transportation options in South Carolina, depending on what region of the state you live in and what your options might be. Here's a transportation planning tool if you're trying to figure out what kind of transportation you might need to get around. The gift of transportation, as you know, is not just about getting to work, because none of us just use our transportation to get to and from work. We use it to get groceries. We use it to carpool our kids. We use it to participate in community events. We use it for socialization. So transportation, if you can open up that opportunity for people to be able to transport, it can open up an entire world for them. Just, I know now there's scooters, like little electric scooters. There's electric bicycles. There's all kinds of opportunities for people that there were not just a few short years ago. Assistive technology supports that may include evaluation and assessment, adaptive equipment, both high and low. Supporting the individuals increasing in their independence could include communication, hearing or vision loss, using cell phones and their apps. There are so many things that are available now through technology, and we don't always take advantage of that. But working in that particular area to help somebody get comfortable so that they would be more employable is certainly a worthwhile activity. And as you know, I know Becky has hosted some sessions with the USC Assistive Technology Center regarding resources. I know that ABLE has some, and Work Autonomy. This is a particular work video for people that are employed, that they can record how they did on the job, and they electronically work off of an iPad, and it'll give them instructions through pictures, and you can click when you've achieved that activity. It's pretty user-friendly, actually. Group discovery. There's a lot being said about discovery, and discovery is really just figuring out what you want to do when you grow up and how you're going to get there. But it's designed to expose and assess information regarding an individual's interests, preferences, skills, and abilities. There are simple classes, there's educational opportunities, there's skills acquisition for working successful with an individual, and there are activities that are encouraged to occur in a natural setting. There is an entire curriculum for discovery. It used to be posted on the website. It is not there any longer, but it was free because it was created by a federal grant. So if you need a copy of it, reach out to me and we'll make sure that you get a copy. Here's career planning curriculum with activities and transition planning. I realize these are not students coming out of transition, but they are transitioning from not having worked and going into the workplace. So there's a lot of the activities and curriculum that you could use that would be transferable. And those are links. Community-based assessments, those are when somebody goes into a community and figures out whether or not that's really something that they liked. Like the young man who always went with his mom after church to Cracker Barrel, and he always wanted to work at Cracker Barrel. Well, when he got to participate in a community-based assessment and found out what really happens behind the fireplace, he did not want to work at Cracker Barrel anymore because he had a chance to see what it looks like. So anytime you have individuals that you can take into the community and expose them to what real work looks like is an opportunity to enrich their experience and give you and them a better idea of what they might want to do for a job. It's designed to assess their aptitude, their abilities, their behaviors, their preferences, their readiness, and any recommendation for further services. It can be done in numerous environments, and it's designed to assist in job development. I was really impressed with a case manager this week. She recommended somebody for employment, and in doing so, she recommended what kind of area the person was really interested in pursuing. And any time we can do that is a benefit, because we don't really want to start from scratch. So here are places you can continue to look for community-based assessments: fire department, library, hospital, courthouse, airport, car dealership, greenhouse, hotel, any business that you can think of that would be willing to give your group a tour to see what goes on behind the scenes is beneficial. You know, I was aware of a young man who had the diagnosis of autism, and he ended up being a perfect fit for a large car dealership that could inventory parts. So he could sit in the back. He had such amazing attention to detail, and he was able to look at all the numbers and confirm that every part was in the right place. He ended up saving that dealership so much money by giving them the opportunity to order what they needed and not order what they didn't need, that they wanted him to work at like all their dealerships. And he didn't want to do that, to be honest with you, but it opened up opportunities for other people. The other thing that I think that is always beneficial, you know, what really the reason that most people lose jobs in the community, and you know this because you work in this field and you work with people every day, is the ability to have those social connections and know appropriate social interactions. And this is kind of a fun thing. This is Making Friends curriculum. It's a free curriculum by the University of Minnesota. And it gives you, it's printable. So you could have a staff person work through this with someone, and you could learn about making friends and proper social connections and etiquette and all the kinds of things that make it easier to become a good friend and be employable. Successful career habits, coping mechanisms, hygiene, improved communication, self-advocacy, interpersonal. These are all different kinds of videos or printed materials, which is, you know, gives your staff, they don't have to start with nothing. They can start with something. You've seen the plan, so you know that these are the goals they might want to work on in all the areas. If you have a question about what can be done in all the various attitudes areas in the standards, there's probably, I don't know, there's probably 2.5 pages of what you can do, just ideas and under exploration or community-based assessment or all the different areas to help you come up with some strategies. In terms of the comments, this is all review for you. You want to put in the exact time that you started the service and ended it. You want to make sure you put that location, because we do honestly get asked about that, and you will get asked too. And your comments for data collection should be a detailed narrative for each unit of service reported. If the same service was provided for both units during the staff, they need to enter the first unit in a detailed narrative and the second one. And comments should include the care and assistance delivered, functional activities supported, skills training offered, and supervision provided. Sometimes you might just be, redirecting somebody the whole time. Well, that's obviously assistance and support. So you might not have been able to work much on a specific goal because you were just helping the person cope with their day. At least monthly, the plan is monitored. So we're assuming that supervisors are monitoring it. They're really looking at what's happening in the service. They're seeing that there's curriculum that's being used, that we're actually moving people forward. In many, many states, both career prep and group are time limited. They really, I'm not saying we should do that, and I'm not necessarily recommending it, but I'm just mentioning it that it's very focused on moving the person forwards if they're interested in employment. Another resource is a phenomenal book from the Community Options on their national level created. This is not to push Community Options South Carolina. This is just to say that, quite honestly, this is a one-page lesson on anything from social etiquette to money management to career planning to health to recreation. It's a one-page lesson, and it's very easy for staff. The staff that have made the effort to purchase the book have found this to be really helpful in terms of when you have one of those days where you just don't know how to gather people together to be thinking about what to do. It's really helpful. I taught school for a while, and let me tell you, I didn't want to go in there without a lesson plan. I didn't want to face my 8th graders without a lesson plan. I needed to have some idea of where we needed to go, no matter where the person was in their learning or their attention or their aptitude. I needed to have something that could capture the group and help us to move forward. And this is a tremendous tool and well worth the money.